So let's get them set up. For,
You guys could pass it. I'm not sure if you guys have a preference. Okay. Oh, right. So this is why I'm giving you guys this one. So that you guys can talk. That is it. And then I'm not gonna be too much of a speak on it because my professor told me, but he said when it's not used. So when you're ready to talk, maybe turn it over. He's gonna check your mics. Quick.
all right, everybody, let's start this panel. We are way behind. Dr. Robo. Yes, sir.
Testing, testing, 1, 2.
Testing, testing. 1, 2, testing.
Informant feature face and limb, I grew so like my brother. Oh, oh, Earth Angel.
How about you?
Okay. What's up there? Hey,
How are you? I'm doing cool.
that's the Donald Cole. Yeah. Writer of books, filmmaker. There's some other names that we won't say them in mixed company. We won't say them in mixed company.
Good to see you. What you doing?
I'm here to check.
Okay. Oh, wow. You teaching? Man, these people don't know what they got.
I have a lecture to give by 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Okay, wow. Man, so this is out of sight. This is out of sight. Yeah. I'll see. I'll be bitches and keep this. It's where it started for them. Everything started with it.
Oh yeah. Because I am famous in Nigeria. Yes. Yes, Donald.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I'm going to have to ask you some question, guys, because basically the panel is about that this is not your job and you'll make a living from doing media, but you still love what you have.
Right.
So that's basically the question is about that. They are setting up for the, it's not our fault. They are setting up for a stream. So don't push us.
No, I'm coming to greet.
Oh, okay. You know,
Okay.
good thing. I missed
The
that.
only person who doesn't know
Well, we need more students here. This is for students, not for faculty. Where are they?
I don't think this one, is it working?
They're probably going to come in soon, right? Okay, I'm glad that you're here, so you're going to do this for you. Okay. All right. So, so far, good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Reza Pude, and I've been here too long. And I'm very honored today to have my former students here. Of course, Denise in the middle, Miss Denise O'Neill she was not my student. Didn't have an honor of teaching her. She probably knows that more than I do. But Corey, the pictures up here, you can probably name. I'm gonna introduce them, of course. But I thought about this, since Monday, all the panels that we have, right, consist of people who are already practicing their craft in media, and they make a living of this. So I said, what if, right? Some of you are graduating, pretty soon. Some of you are thinking about your major, whether is the right major for you or not. So I thought about that because it's actually happened to me, but it's not about me today. I can talk about my life too and how it happened to me. Sometimes you're trained for something, but in the life actually take it to another direction, right? So the panel is here today that what if I do not succeed after I finish my college to find a job in my field? What would I do? Of course, we have to all pay rent at the end of the day, right? The month, right? Not the day, the month. I hope it probably is the month, right? And then we have to live, but at the same time, we have a passion that we are trained for and we love to follow. How do we balance that, right? I think that's very important. As I said, this happened to me in, very quickly tell you about the introduction to this. When I finished my master's degree in film in Boston University, I thought I was a big shot. I'm a freak. I just finished my school, and now, people have to fight over me to hire me, right? So I just made a stack of resumes, and I flew to LA, right, to Hollywood. That's where jobs are, right, in film. That's where you gotta go. So, and back then, I didn't have enough money. I have 2 kids. I was married, I had 2 kids. I was a foreign student, there was a revolution in Iran. They were not paying my tuition anymore. So I thought I had to find a job very quickly. I have only $1,000. So I went to LA, stayed for a month, and back then you couldn't email anyone. You have to go to place by place. I went to Zoetrope, American Zoetrope, for Francis Ford Coppola's production company, and George Lucas. And I actually walked in. I said, "Hey, this is my resume." I said, "Where are you staying?" "I'm staying in this hostess here in this cheap hotel." Some of the other people constantly knocking on my door asking for money, or they're wanting to borrow money. So anyway, I had to come back. I couldn't because there was a recession back then. I was a foreign student, so it was very hard. So I came back. So very disappointed, right, that I couldn't really find a job in my area. That's something I prayed for. Of course, before that, I was a professional in Iran. I had done work. I was a documentary filmmaker. But so it was very disappointing to me, right? Now, I thought the panel that I have here today, they are not make a living of doing media or the art. 2 of them, they doing theater. How is that they actually balance this and are still happy? Because, at the end of the day, you want to have a satisfied, right, life, right? Dr. Melanson, you're a writer, Of course, you're teaching now too, like me. But at the end of the day, so could I just make money, make a living just writing, and make a lot of money? I'd be so satisfied. I don't have to teach anymore, right? Just all I want to do. So at the end of the day, I wanted to be satisfied what I do and how to pursue my passion. To this day, I still made my documentary when I get a chance. I still, I'm teaching. This is one of my joy, actually. My students become an extension of me, and when they're satisfied, that makes me satisfaction when they are successful, right? So this is the purpose of this book. So it's very specific. I want you to know exactly what is the objective of this panel, right? So let me introduce my panel to you, and then we go from there. Denise O'Neill, right in the middle, named a recipient of the Mary McLeod Bethune Award, National Council of Negro Women in 2015, and one of the 100 Creative of the Years, and has a company based in Houston. Her critically acclaimed production include Miss Lily's Groove, Just a Few Feet Away, Bagel Anyone, Fly in the Windshield, Seeing Green, and In One Breath. In 2013, she found the National Play Festival, Fade to Black, celebrating the new works of Black playwrights, the first of its kind for Houston, Texas. She is currently a member of the Dramatists Guild, a former board member of Scriptwriters Houston, and is very active in Houston theater community. She is studies business finance at the University of Houston. We forgive her for that. She's not a tiger. But currently, as Corey said, and she is a senior commercial real estate agent. Okay, now, next, Corey Shield, my former student. Corey Shields is a storyteller at heart, writer, director, actor, and creative force passionate about bringing powerful narrative to life. A proud graduate of Texas Southern University, class of '95. Corey earned his Bachelor of Art in Telecommunication. Back there, we were not radio, television, film, Dr. Brown, right? We're telecommunication, so that would be. Honing his craft under the STEAM instructors, he mentioned me too, Reza Pude, Chris Ulasi, Mary Waits, we miss Mary Waits really here, and in the legendary MLK building. His time at TSU further enriched his role as a member of the former vice president of the prestigious Texas Southern University debate team, where he trained under the guidance of the iconic Dr. Thomas Freeman, right? Though Corey initially set his sight on career in radio, television, and film, fate has other plans. A postgraduate interview led him to Social Security Administration, where he embarked on a remarkable 29-year federal employee and manager career. Yet, this creative spirit never took a backseat. While excelling in public service by day, Corey spent his night and weekends immersed in the art, acting, directing, writing, award-winning screenplays and plays. His dedication to storytelling has taken him across every medium imaginable, from the stage to the screen. Over the years, Corey has crafted and produced acclaimed short and feature films, collaborating with industry talents such as Errol Wilkes, Timothy Ericks, the late J.D. Hawkins, and his wife, Shawante Shields. Currently, he is in the final stage of post-production for his film Limelight, a gripping drama, crime drama, and a documentary exploring life of his producing partner, Tori Hogan. In addition to his film, Corey has recently ventured into the world of podcasting. Teaming up with the fellow producer, Brandon Morgan, he has created the Fade podcast, backed by Shabak Enterprise, to promote the 2025 Fade to Black Festival, available on the major podcast platform and YouTube. The show dives into the compelling conversation at the industry of art, culture, and storytelling. We have a few minutes of it, but I don't think that we're gonna have time. Corey might not be able to show that. Sorry for that. But now, and last but not least, Errol Anthony Wilkes. Errol is a native of Palmer Grove, Clarendon, Jamaica. He holds a BA in theater and cinema. So back then, theater and cinema used to be part of School of Communication. So we had a program because we were a department, so it was one of the programs. Like Dr. Brown? Yeah, theater department. from Texas Southern University. He is very active theater professional. He recently directed the world premiere Stagoli and Funeral of the Dangerous World by legendary Dr. Thomas Melanson at Main Street Theater. He is a co-founder and producing partner at Hawkins in Flight Spin 23 production and has 2 films currently in post-production. Mr. Wicks serves on the board of Shabak Enterprise. This nonprofit organization produces the annual Fade to Black 10-minute play, very interesting, 10-minute play festival, and the upcoming Fade to Black Art Festival, June 8 through 29 in Houston, Texas. His stage directing credit includes Indigo Blues in Ensemble Theater, Spread of the Mississippi River, Encore Theater, and Hamlet and Sankofa Theater. Additionally, he has directed numerous plays at his beloved alma mater, Texas Southern University, including the world premiere of Kissing It Goodbye. I think I saw that one, by Dr. Elizabeth Brown Guillory. Mr. Wick is a proud veteran of the United States Navy. So, as you notice that, my 3 presenters here, they are doing something for a living, but still they are really following their dreams at being in the media. So these are the questions I'm going to start, but then you can all ask questions, right? Because you may have a question again. We are getting about to graduate, some of you. So that would be interesting to see what the some of the advice we're getting from our panel here. So here, let's just start with Denise, right? Denise here. Take us back to the day when you were in college. What were your aspirations? Did you have aspiration back then, although you're not in the media, but what was your aspiration as far as the media is concerned?
I just wanted to, there's a lot of stuff I wanted to do. I wanted to create a legacy for myself that was honorable. And I wasn't sure how to do that in college. That was a long, long time ago. But I had the good sense to know that I needed to have vision first, decide what it was I wanted to do with the course of my life. And at that age, in your 20s, you're really not sure. But I think now when people talk to me about, how do you get to where you are? How do you do Fade to Black? The very first method is to have your mind right, to get your vision clear. And it may take years and years and years for that to develop. So I didn't have clarity until my mid-30s, well after my young college years. But I didn't have that bug when I was in my 20s. I didn't have it until mid-30s, going into my 40s. Hope that answers your question.
Well, let's see what Corey has to say. And so the question I've asked, you go ahead and each one of you go ahead and, talk about that. What was your aspiration, Corey?
See, I started in high school. I was told I had a good voice. So all throughout high school, hey, y'all do radio. So that was stuck in my head when I went across the street at first. I wasn't, maybe. Yeah, I went across the street. And then a lovely young lady I was dating at the time, she was so enamored with TSU. She loved TSU. She had TSU paraphernalia. She bought me some. I was like, man, I don't have that type of love for this school over here. So the next semester I came over and, man, opened a whole new world. So when I got here, radio was my emphasis. But of course I took classes from you, class with Dr. Ulasi, Dr. Brown, all you all, and I was torn between film and radio, but ultimately I chose radio, and so that was the place I was going. I worked at 102, I worked at Arrow, I interned, I should say, and that was the course I was on. In fact, the day I got a call from Social Security, I just left it was Smoking Tony and the Bandit Morning Show at Magic 102. I was I forget what the title was, but a producer. And so I left there. We had to be there at 4:30 in the morning. I left there on the way to Don Nicolo and Chris Ulasi's production, the Kangaroo. I was a PA on their film, and that opened up my film career by being on that set, and that was a great experience. But you still had to pay bills, and so I got a page. I had beeper back then. I got a page, and I called back. It was Social Security. The placement center here at the school sent my resume in, and they wanted to interview me, so I got an interview from Social Security. And I remember telling my girlfriend at the time, who later became my wife, "Oh, I'll just be there for a couple of years, pay off some bills, and then I'll do something else." But 29 years later.
29 years later. Yeah.
I'm still there.
You're right. Yeah. Okay, Errol, go ahead.
Okay, my foray into this crazy business started when I was in high school. There was a gentleman by the name of Trevor Rohn who was a Shakespearean actor, and he went to my alma mater, San Diego High School in Spanish Town, Jamaica. And he was doing Hamlet's soliloquy that day, and I saw this regal man on stage. But what struck me was all the girls were just enraptured with him, and I said to myself, that is what I want to do. But I went to the theater to get girls, so that my intentions were less than honorable at the time. But I am happy that I met a teacher, and she said, if you quit fooling around, you could be really good at this. And I took her advice. About 20 years later, there were some interludes. I came to America, I joined the Navy, and when I came to Texas Southern, I was an older cat, which means I did very well in school because I didn't have time to be joining fraternities and all that, because when I married a girl who had a child. So I became an instant daddy, and then my daughter came. As a matter of fact, I was Dr. Ward. I shan't ever forget this. When I did a summer class with him, and he looked at all of us and he said, "Oh, y'all are gonna get C's or D's." The professors back then were kind of mean. They didn't make it easy for everybody, okay? They made you know that if you're gonna get something other than a C, you're gonna have to work really hard for it, So June 16th, 1987 was when I took his, when he gave his final exam. And the reason why I remember that was the day my daughter was born. My wife's water broke that morning, and I drove her to Jefferson Davis Hospital, and I left her over there. "Babe, I'll be right back. I got to take an exam, okay?" And after that, Dr. Ward would always, every time he saw me, "This guy, he got an A in my class," So that was a crowning moment. But as far as this business is concerned, I am very honored because I get to come back here and direct a show. These wonderful people on the panel, we've been friends for years. I had a cousin once who asked me, she said, hey, she still lives in Jamaica, and she called me, she said, "You're always going to rehearsals and doing all of this. How come you're not rich?" And I said, "But I am rich." And she said, "But I've never seen any of the money." I said, "Whoa, I got people, okay? I have the Ulasis of the world, okay? The Melansons of the world, the Corey Shields of the world, the Denise O'Neills of the world. I have you folk right here whom I'm glad to be addressing today, because we set the tone for you guys, and we want to make sure that every bit that we could give back to you, if just one word, one sentence from anything that you hear from the week started to now until tomorrow when this ends, make sure you take away something from it. Every one of us up here, in fact, I've learned so much since I've been here. When you stop learning is when this Mahalia Jackson starts to sing over you, okay? And if you don't know who that is, I feel really bad for you, okay? Anyway, but Dr. Pude, I hope I answered the question to
Of course you did.
some kind of satisfaction.
Of course. Let's build on that. I said, was it? I'm sorry. Okay, let's finish, and then we can ask question at the end. Okay, please, can you make notes of your question, because we don't have much time, so we're going to just finish up with this, and then you all ask questions. Let me ask from my question, and then you ask your question. How's that? Was it a hard decision for you to make in order to leave what you were trained for? And so, Corey, you had a call from, of course, you were under pressure. You found a job to make a living, but at the same time, was in the back of your head. You studied hard. You had so much fun at school. This is what you really wanted to do. How do you deal with that?
Well, I never stopped being active. Like, even when I got the job, again, in the back of my mind, it's like, that's just temporary, so I'm gonna keep doing my thing, because we would make, I met Errol in '97, maybe, yeah, and we started making movies, and I graduated in '95, so it wasn't that long after, and at the time, mini DVs, I think, were becoming really popular. So we bought mini DV cameras, started making films a little bit. We thought that was prime technology at the time. We thought we were really doing something. Anyway, so it wasn't a hard decision to make, because it's always about, money and how are you gonna make it in the world. But I never gave up doing the thing that I love. So it wasn't, I never looked at it as a compromise as much as I do, I do this to feed my art. This takes care of my art. So that's how I've always looked at it. So.
Yeah. So Denise, you didn't, at the beginning, so you studied something else. I mean, did you were interested in media when you went to school?
I studied business finance. My passion, my love, my lifeblood is theater and performing arts. So I'm a product of someone who figured out what vocation you need to hold on to, or if you need to do that, find a vocation that is, that provides the money that you need to pay all your bills, your mortgage, give you a nice quality of life, and then chase after your dream in the hopes that one day the dream will supersede the need to have a full-time job. So, I can't give you a lot of, oh, I had this epiphany, because I'm still working in my vocation, but I've never lost the desire to do what I was created to do and what I was brought here to do and give to the earth realm. I've lost jobs pushing after my dream, and now I have good sense enough to know to not be on a day job, telling everybody how much you love the arts and how much you love Fade to Black, and I got the, you have to be wise about that. So I never lost the understanding that you do need a job. Not everybody needs a job. Some people strike it rich and they can leave their sedentary job and do what they love, which is wonderful. But I had a different path, so I'm still on that path. But I believe that the moves I'm making now, the decisions I'm making, will set me up for enough capacity building for me to leave the commercial real estate position that I have. When it is time, when it's the destined time, I'll be able to do that. And so I'm still on that journey.
Thank you. Now, as for me, just like Corey just cited, I never stopped doing theater or whatever because I was working another job. In fact, I had gotten a part in a television show that they were shooting down in Florida. That's why I moved to Florida. It was called The 100 Lives of Blackjack Savage. See, that's why it got canceled. It was a Disney program when Michael Eisner had just taken over ABC, and Stoney Jackson was the lead actor, and Stoney got into a row with the producers and got himself fired, so they brought in Stephen Williams, who used to be the captain on 21 Jump Street, and the chemistry between he and Daniel Hugh Kelly was the other lead actor didn't really work out, so I was scheduled to be like the manservant at this place, but they didn't. In fact, I got a check from that for 97 cents the other day. That my scene didn't get shot. They canceled the show. Disney had ordered pilot plus 6. For those of you in the media business, you know, that means the pilot plus 6 episodes to start off, and then if you're in a good, but it didn't get to that point, so they made the ones that they did, they made it into a full-length movie and sold it that way. But somehow my name got involved, and I still get a little check occasionally. Anyway, now Corey mentioned that we met in '97. I got a job, ironically enough, at Social Security because my late wife was working at a university down in Florida, St. Thomas University. And I came home one day and she said, babe, there was a job fair at the job and I gave out your resume. I guess she was tired of not eating properly because of me. And she said, well, these 2 people want to talk to you. One was from they needed a theater master at the school in Palm Beach County, and the other one was from the Social Security Administration. The teaching job, ironically, started off by a couple grand more, so I thought I was going to take that job. And she said, babe, don't take the teaching job. And I said, why not? Because you can't teach. And I said, okay, so I took the Social Security job, but after being down there for a while, I wanted to move back home to Houston. This is home for me. And when I landed in Houston, I landed in an office where Corey works, and we found out that we had the same attitude about life and all that, and that's how we became business partners and founded a little company together, and we started making movies and so forth. And I have the privilege of I'll be directing him in a play written by Thomas Melanson. It's called Johnny Be Good, and I hope to see you guys out there. It's going to be during the week of the 8th through the 14th of June at the Arts Festival that we keep talking about up here.
Since I'm getting a signal that I don't have that much time, sir, I'm sorry about that. Go ahead and ask your question.
Hello? Okay. Ms. Dennis, you mentioned when you were in your 20s, you had lots of things you wanted to do. You had visions of, but you had a vision of what you wanted to specifically pursue, but it wasn't until you're 30 that you really focused on it. So I wanted to know what really inspired that vision for your path. I didn't really get that.
So I've always wanted to do something for mankind, something positive. A lot of times, the biggest moves I've made was when I saw some form of injustice, some form of indifference, or in situations where there was more for this segment of people and not enough for the other. And so what I was doing in my 30s is meeting new people in the theater community. I'm not from Houston, but I went around, did mixers, met different people, and I became a board member for Scriptwriters of Houston. And they did this amazing 10-minute play festival called 10 by 10. It's still going. They're soon going to be in their 30th year. But it was a wonderful opportunity to see an art form that I had not been exposed to. I didn't study college I didn't study, theater in college. I studied business finance. So I began to see them put together these 10-minute play festivals, delightful, wonderful. And I went one day and realized that there were really no 10-minute plays from African-American playwrights. And I thought, this is a cool thing, but I cannot easily see a play that was written by a black playwright. And that was the spark. That was it. It was a niche product. I thought it would be a fun thing to do. It had never been done or successfully maintained in the Houston area. And I just went out. There was some things going on with me personally that pushed me forward into working harder. And I just basically went out to my community friends and said, I want to do this thing. This is a new thing. You want to help me? They said, this is cool. Let's do it. Right? And so there were certain business principles that I had developed, like start on time, make sure you get the best products, make sure you do your best in terms of selecting the right people that are around you. That's a kind of a trial by error thing, but you've got to lay those foundations that will carry you into the years. Don't spend money you don't have. Work out all that finance early or just wait, right? So those are the things that got me pushed forward because of the people that came alongside. Because of clarity of mind, we are still doing what we're doing today. So it's essential that you take the time necessary. It might take you a couple years, 5 years, whatever, but you need to always be on the quest of getting what is it I'm here to do in the earth realm. Because I could do that without you paying me. I can run forward and do that without anyone pushing me. And it's going to follow me until I answer the call. So that is why we're here today. That's why we're still about 13, 14 seasons deep, because of the basic principles that I established when we got started day one. Yeah.
And just to add to that, she's an extremely persistent person, because when I first met her, she came up to me when the genesis of the idea she wanted to do. She said, "Hey, I want to do this 10-minute play festival, and I would like you to be involved." And I kind of blew her off because I thought, yeah, another startup. I'm not interested. So about a week later, I got a phone call, and it's her. And I said, "How did she get my number?" But she said, "Errol, I heard a lot about you, and I want you to be involved with this thing. You have to be." So I said, "Okay." And I'm happy that I did, because we've been doing, how many plays have we done? I mean, we get hundreds of plays from all over the world now. We've gotten from Mexico. Yes, there are black people in Mexico. From African nations. Yes, 10-minute plays. And what we do is we do full productions of 10 of them every year, and then we do a reading series, and we also do a thing called the Flow, which is poetry, song, and dance. And we have this big thing that's coming up now. We're going to need everybody in here to be a part of it, the arts festival that we have, the Fate of Black Arts Festival. But the one thing that Denise left out of her dissertation a while ago is that she's extremely persistent. And sometimes you have to be that in order to get the right people in your corner. And to shed the people from your corner who aren't attuned with your dreams and what you want to do. And Corey has written plays that has been performed there. Mr. Milan's son, yes. So if any of you are writers, you write your 10-minute play and you send it in to us. Who knows? You might get to be one of those that gets picked to be performed at Match downtown. Okay. Yes. Go ahead.
Any quick question from audience here, because we're running out of time. We're going to very quickly. Okay. I think you actually alluded to what, my next question was, how you get connected, because this is a really collaborative work, right? When you work in media. And how did you find it, spiritually, how do you get connected to be able to be, to be able to work together? Do you have, when you work together, come up with ideas? Sometimes, because it's artistic work at the end of the day, right? And we all have differences in terms of what is good, and how do you come to agreement that this is what is supposed to be in the production? Is it hard decision for you to make, or? Okay, I say.
How are we able to work together?
I see this
without
point.
killing each other?
Sometimes we have a group project. You mentioned group projects. I taught 499. Some students who are taking 499 here. So in the past, I used to have group projects. So we break them into groups. Okay, you sit down and you come up with a script, right, for your final project. Work together, decide who's the writer, who's the director, who's the producer, who's shooting it, who's editing it. And at the end of the semester, you get your grade. And then it comes at the end of the grade, the production is not finished because they got a lot of disagreement in terms of, the artistic decision to make, right? And who didn't show up last Saturday. And finally I said, you know what? No more group projects. You're all gonna work independently. I don't care what you hire. At the end of the day, you are producer, director, writer of your program. You can hire whoever you want and whoever you can work with, right? So this is the niche. So say, you see still, Spike Lee, when you watch his movies, if you watch, Spielberg's movies, is that if he can, most of the time works with the same people, right? Because they understand each other. Is there something, connection between you, and that's what I mean in terms of making that connection. Yeah.
I think it's synergy.
Yeah.
You get to know people. Perfect example. The first year that Denise put on Fade to Black, I was in the audience, and I had never thought about writing a play. Never crossed my mind. I was a good screenwriter. Now I'm writing my rear end off on screenwriting, but I never tried to do a playwright. And so saw her show 10-minute plays, inspired me. I said, oh, I got to get in on this. And so I started studying how to do playwriting. And so I think by year 5, I got into maybe 10. I don't know. It was a few years later, though. But I got into the festival. And since then, I think I've been in 5 times. I've had plays put in 5 times. So if you're a writer, screenwriter, playwright, check out fadetoblack.com, fadetoblack.com, fast.com.
Yep.
I think that's a great idea. I think that's a great idea to come up with. I mean, you guys came up with, because with this new generation, we're teaching actually, if you're making anything for social media, nothing more than 3 to 5 minutes, right? So the same thing actually applies to theater now. You guys came up with hey, listen, this is going to be a 2-hour play. I love it, play, if you like it, of course. But 10 minutes, I think that's a great idea that you guys came up with, and I congratulate you. Okay, the last question.
One thing real
last
quick.
Question.
Start early, though.
This is the last question.
Don't wait until
question.
you all graduate to start doing stuff. Start now. You don't have to wait till you graduate to do the things you want to do. If I had been thinking back then, I might have been a little bit further along, So start now while you have the time and the energy most importantly, and to get things done.
Okay, so that was my last questions. Okay, you can answer that, of course. This is for our students. What advice do you give? Do you formal advice that you give our student who, after they graduate, cannot find a job in the area they've been trained for?
I looked this up. 27 to 40% of people 10 years after they graduate do not work in the field that they studied. So more than 50% of the people in the world who studied something don't work in that industry. So you got to define what success is for you, and you got to fill in the blanks along the way what brings joy and happiness to your life. So the first thing, you've got to take care of your responsibilities. The second thing is, how do you fulfill your life in between those gray areas? And so however that happens for you, for me it happened, Social Security wasn't on my my bingo card, but it has provided me with a nice life, be able to take care of my family, good benefits, and I can still do the things that I love to do on the side. Now, will I ever be Tyler Perry status? Probably not. But for me, that's not success, because I don't know that I'd want Tyler Perry's stress, So you do what you define for yourself what success is, but don't feel bad if you do not work in the area that you studied, because you're in a good company.
So you need to determine what it is that you want to do with your life. Everything that happens to you from this time forward brings you to where you are today. All of the, every step you take brings people alongside with you, and you end up where you end up. So I cannot stress this enough, that you must hold on to the dream. You must hold on to what it is you think you want to do. Keep it locked and never let it go. Because Corey and Errol took jobs that are so far removed from film that you would not think the two would connect, but they're knee deep into what they love doing. And so one decision informed another decision, and then informed another decision, and the two met. And a dynamic team was created in the dream that they had, which was film, And so you would have never thought this a circumstance of a baby being born, a test being done, girlfriend, this, and would bring these two together, but they both had in their minds and hearts the dreams to do film. So I can't stress enough, to make sure you lock in on that. Try to keep it focused. Do what you have to do. Get a job. Get a job. Work at McDonald's. Work in I don't care where you work. Just work. I do care where you work. But work a job so that you can maintain focus on, what it is that I want to do. I have to be able to focus on paying my bills. If I can't pay my bills and I'm out on the street, I can't really focus on this dream I have. But if I'm smart, if I get a job that sufficiently pays my bills, mortgage, lights, and car, then I'm in a position where I'm not so hungry that I can make proper decisions. I paid my mortgage, my car note with the job that I have. I'll continue on this job until something overrides that salary and I can move and leave this job. But it's always in the back of my mind that I want to be, country western singer. I was born to do it, and that's what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I know. And then you set that mindset. And then you take that first step. You work your job, and then you do a little improv, and then you continue on. And then somewhere along the side, I heard you singing country western. You're really good. Can you sing at this church function? It starts there, So do that. Get clear. Get a job if you got to do a job. Work the job 20, 30 years if you want. Your dream will never fail you. It will never fall aside. It'll always stay with you as long as you have breath in your body. It's always going to be there. So the people that come alongside will either go with you to the wall or they'll fall aside. The people that need to remain with you for you to visualize and realize your dream will stay the course with you. Just know that. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Thank you. One thing I would like to task each of you today, especially the students, is the art of networking. Dr. Pude mentioned something a while ago. Whenever you see a Spike Lee movie, you always see the Tortura brothers in it and all these guys. And the reason for that is they all went to school together. So they founded their bond then, okay? Learn from each other. What is your field of endeavor? What are you studying? If one guy is a graphic artist and you want to be a screenwriter, that person is going to be the person that you might call on later on to do the graphics in your film or whatever you're doing. But learn to embrace the ideas of others, and you collaborate those with yours, because film is the ultimate collaboration. Every person on your film crew. I was watching an interview once with James Garner. It was one of my favorite actors, and Mr. Lipton, the interviewer kept talking to him about the director, and he said, stop. Let me tell you something, okay? Everybody on the set is important. The caterer to me is the most important person, because if that food doesn't show up during lunchtime, you're gonna have mutiny, okay? So whether you're the caterer, the videographer, the cinematographer, the screenwriter, do it the best to your abilities, and always know that there's always room for improvement, and be prepared to fail at times, and don't be scared of failure, okay? Because we audition for hundreds of roles, and sometimes we don't get the role, but that doesn't mean that you should stop learning. Always continue to read, always continue to learn your craft. If there's a symposium going on like this, always try to be there. Make your curiosities work for you. And in closing, one last thing is always to thine own self be true.
Give them a big round of applause. Thank you very much, guys, for coming. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Great. Hold on one second.
Hold on 1 second. We have a token of appreciation. First of all, thank you very much for your wonderful presentation. My name is Dr. Anthony Ogbo. I'm the conference chair, and I always bring, our goodwill from the SOC. So today I'm gonna share these certificates with you. I'll read the last part. Your efforts have significantly enriched the conference experience for all attendees, and I'll be including myself. So we appreciate you. Dr. Kuda, you have a certificate too, so you can come up. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
So that'll be for
Dr.
you.
Obo is great. I really love him, and he's actually chairman of he's the one who put this all together, along with his committee. His committee might be here. Ms. Jones here, Ms. Randall back here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We all appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
So, we're going to have a very fast-paced 45 minutes before we take a break. Two great speakers, so don't go anywhere. Hang on one second.
Club is dedicated to educating professionals in the production of critical studies, radio, television, and film, and new media. Today we have a special guest and special speakers today. Today I will be introducing Miss Amanda Saab. Can we put our hands together for her? Y'all can do better than that. Y'all can do better than that. There we go. There we go. Miss Amanda Sapp is the Vice President of Media at the Bread of Life Incorporated and the General Manager of Amazing 102.5. 102.5 is a Houston-based radio station dedicated to uplifting the community through engagement, content, entertainment, and social media initiatives. Under her leadership at Amazing 102.5, she has become a dynamic platform for economic empowerment, Black culture, gotta add the Black culture, politics, and trending conversations that matter to the community, powered by Bread of Life Incorporation. This station is not only provides music and talk programming, but also serves as a hub of mentorship, senior engagement, and social change. Through strategic partnerships, live events, and innovative programming, including the Amanda Sapp Morning Show, Amanda continues to position Amazing 102.5 FM as your do good through good station, amplifying voices that inspire and uplift. And I want to just give a congratulations to her again, and let's welcome Miss Amanda Sapp.
Grand Rising, everyone. Oh, am I in here by myself? I said Grand Rising. You say it back, Grand Rising. Grand Rising. I'm so excited to be here with you today, and for good reason, to talk about transitioning from the classroom to the newsroom. Now, before I get ready to do anything, I do one little thing first to get my mind ready for what I'm about to walk into. I'm going to ask Jalen to hold this mic for me this really quickly right here. My spiritual coach, she always asks me, what do I love? Can y'all hear me just fine? She always asks me, what do I love? You always have to be prepared to enter into any space, whatever it is, whether it's into your next bedroom, your next room, your next event, your next anything, and welcome it with love. You only want to call in what you want to receive. And how we do that is, you're going to watch me, we're going to do this 3 times. I am open and willing to receive and to give love. So I'm opening up for what I want, and I'm giving it back to the universe or your God or whatever you call your higher being. Is that okay? Yes. All right, so we're going to start that today because we are coming to you in love. We're coming to you in support. We're coming to you because we want things to be exactly how you want it to be for you. All right? I am open and willing to receive. Okay, you have to repeat after me. Okay. I am open and willing to receive.
I am open and willing to receive.
And to give love.
And to give love.
We're going to try it one more time with those of you who feel so convicted that you must do this thing because you absolutely want what you need after you graduate. I am open and willing to receive.
I am open and willing to receive.
And to give love.
And to give love.
And one more time, we're going to conclude this part of this session with this right here. I am open and willing to receive.
I am open and willing to receive.
And to give love.
And to give love.
I want to thank Ms. Green here for allowing us to go ahead of her. You're beautiful being you. We don't want to rush this, but we do have another meeting immediately following this program. I want to give a huge shout out to my partners that are my teammates who are here with me today. Jalen Rogers, she is a student here at TSU. Actually, this is her senior year, and she's graduating this May. Woo. And I have Reggie on the beat, Reginald Fulton. He is on my left. He is here with us as well as a teammate of Amazing 102.5 FM. Please give him a round of applause. He's also a former TSU student as well. You have Andrea, who has been passing out flyers. And I didn't ask you to come up here, but since you're here already, wave, please. He's been passing out flyers that share with you a little bit about what Amazing 102.5 FM and what Bread of Life, Inc. is. Amazing 102.5 FM is a community radio station licensed to cover inside of the 610 loop. If you're in downtown, midtown, 3rd Ward, or 5th Ward, you can get in your car and listen to us live, our 24-hour programming, where our format is talk variety, which means we play gospel, hip-hop, R&B, Caribbean, jazz, and talk shows like the Amanda Sapp Morning Show that Jalen Rogers was a booking agent agent for. We have Reggie on the beat here because he is now a broadcast engineer. And the reason I have him here is because he started off as a volunteer at Bread of Life, Inc., again, which is a nonprofit that provides household items, food, and supplies to families in need. One of the things I want to share with you really quickly as we are moving along in this program are 5 things to help you get yourself ready to get started, to get employment. The first thing I want to share with you is build before you're ready. I heard the gentleman here share with you, don't wait till you graduate to get to where you're going. Build before you get ready. The first tip I have for you is start creating your body of work while you're still in school. Make content, volunteer on sets, intern at local stations like Amazing 102.5 FM, and treat every class project like it's your dream job. I want Reggie on the beat really quickly to share with us a little bit about how he got to Amazing 102.5 FM.
Hey y'all, what's poppin'? I'm Reggie. So it all started off in 2022. I was taking a class, it was my internship class, and Amanda was one of the guest speakers. And she's like, hi y'all, if y'all need any assistance, you need to reach out, just reach out to me via email. This is my email, this is my contact. And I was like, okay, cool. So I reached out to her. I was like, hi, I'm Reggie on the beat. I would love to work with y'all at Amazing 102.5 and whatever y'all do, because I like what y'all do. And yeah. So I volunteered, then I got through Workforce Solutions to be an intern. Then after my internship, I became a broadcast engineer, and I've been doing that for almost a year now. So, yeah.
I want to share with you to please, 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 please take advantage of the opportunities that your teachers give you. What was your teacher's name? He does the clap clap. What is it?
The Clap Clap Productions. Clyde Duncan.
It's here platform. I don't know if it's called that. I might even be saying the wrong thing. But I know that he invites employers to come in and share exactly what opportunities they have. And I did the session. It was all great and good. But Reggie on the beat followed up, which is a problem that a lot of people have even well into their business, is following up, which I want to encourage you when you make your opportunities to give your resumes to the people that you want to get with. Don't just think these people got your resume and they finna give you a job. You literally have to follow up. How many of you are following up just in your regular everyday lives? It's too many less of hands for us to not be doing better than what we're doing. If you hear me today, you heard what he said. He got here in 2022, started as a volunteer, did some of the projects. He was persistent, consistent, and he followed through. I'm encouraging you today to please, please, please follow through. Send your resumes out and follow through with that employer and say, hey, remember that resume I sent? I'm so-and-so. I'd love to find out more about if you had an opportunity to view. Another thing that we do well with our teammates here is taking people to lunch. There's nothing better than relationships. I wouldn't even be standing here right now. I'd be still waiting to sit if Ms. Green didn't say, you know what, sister? Let's go ahead and have you go first so you can get your teammates out of here. So it's also moves me to my next point, which is networking. How many of you are networking with people outside of your, I got one person out of 20, maybe there's 3, I see 5 hands. It's not enough of you doing, why would you waste all of your time getting all this education and not share it with people that you think need to use it? That means network, that means connect with people, that means say, hey, I do this thing, and I think you should know about it. In fact, I think you should hire me. I want Jalen Rogers to share a little bit about how she got to Amazing 102.5 FM. Please.
Hey everyone, I'm Jalen Rogers. I have been at Amazing for about 4 years. I first met Amanda. Bread of Life was conducting testing, or was it testing?
Like COVID testing.
COVID testing. This was right when COVID was like happening. And I was with my sisters. She came over to us asking us about our experience. She interviewed us, and she felt like we all spoke very well. So I basically connected with her because I have a background in, I studied journalism here. So I connected with her. She saw the potential in me, and I started out booking for her show, finding people to be on there, sending out emails and stuff like that. Then eventually she trusted me a bit more. She gave me my own Instagram live show on the platform. Then I started joining her on her show, and now I am having my own show at the station. So it's been a long journey, and yeah, who would have thought all those 4 years ago?
I want to make mention, isn't that incredible? Is that incredible? I want to say, and I have chills standing in between the both of them, or sitting between the both of them, because I can actually prove concept. What am I trying to say? Content, proof to concept is what I'm trying to say. I have proof to concept that what I have, what we think of, what we dream of at Amazing 102.5 FM, at Bread of Life Inc., what we dream of can produce amazing talent like this. You also have to be able to have eye for talent, which I do. All right, I see it coming a mile away. You got Reggie on the beat here, all handsome, got songs called Too Close. What is it? Too Soon, my bad. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. What's the name of your song again?
Too Soon.
Tell it to the people in the back.
Too Soon.
He's got a project called Too Soon. It's already playing on the radio, which will allow him to get streams and more people to hear him, more people to learn about him. Also, Jalen Rogers also has a song. What is the name of it?
Time. What is it called for the people? It's called Time, everybody. It's called Time.
I'm saying that because you've got to do what you can where you are with what you have. She had a song. She asked questions. Can I play it? And when I looked up, after her talking with my program director, the song was on the air. There's more that we're going to share with you. Thank you. I'm going to share with you, but I want to get to my third. I'm on my third. I'm on my second point. Learn to pivot and not panic. There's the tip. The media industry is unpredictable. A canceled project, a rejected script, or a passed-up audition does not define you. Learn new skills, ask questions, and stay adaptable. I will, let me see who I want to go to, you or you or you. Let me see. Both of them go through the ebb and flow of changes regularly with our radio station. Let me go to Jalen. Tell us a little bit of how you have been able to adapt to certain changes that happen. Also, because we're a nonprofit and you wear multiple hats, tell me about some of those changes you've experienced.
Yeah, well, first of all, a really big thing that helped me adapt was being the booking agent. I started out, I'm very social. I've probably talked to everybody in here. I'm very, very social, but I started out being very, very shy and having to reach out to people. I mean, she was wanting people like, you know, big names, the top, which makes sense. And I was so nervous. Why would anybody want to answer me? I feel like having that job has propelled me now to be able to handle and adapt to change. There were people who might say no. Maybe they didn't know. Like, you know what I mean? There's always going to be a change. More recently, with the show that we have now, the way that we were programming, we were always going live. Well, now we are pre-recording and uploading it to go live at a certain time. That was a big shift for me because I started worrying about, well, what about our people that we interview? What's going to happen with this? What's going to happen with that? But like she was saying, I'm learning that.
Are they going to come?
Are they going to come? That was my big question. But whatever is meant for you will be for you. The people who want to be there will be there at a certain time. So I think being in the radio space, in the nonprofit space, there are always shifts and turns. But whatever is supposed to happen will happen.
Thank you, Jalen. I also want to pass this along to Reggie on the beat, because in production there's always changes. A guest may not show up. They maybe not didn't fill out their form. Maybe we don't even know that they're coming, and they pop up anyway. Can you talk about what it means to have infrastructure, systems in place, and what it means to communicate appropriately?
Well, hold on. Okay, so I would say when it comes to production and how to adapt to the changes, because there's always something going on, something not always on cue all the time. So I would say for the systems, I'll try to keep systems in place so things like that won't occur. But when they do occur, I would say I'll try the best second option. For example, it's a show, they probably never said they had a guest, right? But all of a sudden, it's this lady I never seen before said, "Hi, I'm a guest on the show, whatever." I'm like, "Girl, I don't know you, I've never seen you." Can you hear me now? Okay. So I would just say, like, I get their information, I try to do the best I can, and the show still go on as followed, but I'll just say pivoting. That's what I mainly would do.
Can you also talk about what it means to maintain a positive attitude even when those occurrences arise?
So I always look at it as it's not that person, it's not me, it's the problem, right? So don't take the anger out or your frustration out on the other person. It's the problem. And when things get done, you ain't even think about the problem anymore. It's like, it's done now, it's in the back of me, so let's move forward, basically.
I mentioned that because as you all are looking for employment, and you got to keep sending these resumes out, networking with people, asking people, and sharing with people, I am looking for a job. These are my skills. Look at my resume that has everything that I have done. It is documented well. I deserve to be where you are because that's where I want to be. Another thing I want to share with you is making sure that you communicate well, as he mentioned. If you're not talking to who you want to go. Does anybody know how to answer that? I didn't think so, because you have to do that. The next step I want to take to tell or share with you guys is professionalism is a lifestyle. The tip is show up early, follow through, communicate clearly. These things matter more than talent alone. Develop habits now that mirror the professional environment you want to grow in. One of the things that I am learning for myself personally is my language. I want to be able to communicate exactly what I want, when I want, how I want it, where I want it to be. And one thing I do to maintain that is maintain a positive attitude, number one. But then number two, learning what words mean. If I say I'm going to manifest something, I want something to become, I cannot stay in the past of let me see how I want to say it. I cannot say it might happen or it could be. Jalen can share a story with you guys. Just recently, we were in Las Vegas, Nevada. She came with us to the National Association of Broadcasters Conference, which is a national conference where people from around the world, upwards to 60,000 plus attendees, come and be a part of. And she interned with a group that we are with entitled Gals in Gear. Please share with us a little bit about professionalism and the power of words.
Well, number one, I just want to point out, being there, we were really the only people that looked like us.
We were only black people.
Yes, we were a few black women in particular. And I think being in that space, I was already motivated to look the way that I do, like be very professional and speak out for what I know, because there are going to be spaces, especially when you're a student, intern, or you're still learning, where you do kind of have to show up in a certain way to show that you are capable and you can. What was your question again? Am I answering it?
Professionalism and is she answering the question?
Am I?
Are y'all still open and willing to speak?
Yes, I'm talking about the conference. I think
Y'all still open? I don't hear you in the back. Are you still open? The answer is yes or no. Okay, continue.
So I think number one, being able to go to the trip, we did have preparation. We had meetings beforehand. We had to turn in certain documentation. We had to be timely on certain things. And I think if I wasn't taking care of those beforehand, that would have already let the team know where I stand. So being able to be professional in the beforehand, then also being able to carry that through with the actual production process of doing interviews and doing things like that while we were there, they had confidence in me because of how I showed up beforehand. So I think it's really important being able to incorporate the professionalism that I feel like we also learn in the communications realm into everything that we do, because you never know who's watching or who's listening. And if I didn't show up professionally in those meetings beforehand, that probably would have made them lose confidence in my capabilities.
Saying all that to say, when you get ready to get hired at your employer, show up on time. In fact, show up early. They say if you're on time, you're late. Is that what they say? Ms. Green, if you're on time, you're late. So with that being said, how many of you go to class on time? You're already late. Look at that. It's too many of y'all that's late. One more time. How many are showing the class on time? Now they don't want to. They're still late. Go to class early. You got a little bit of time left here. I see my friend over there. How you doing? In the back, I see y'all. Just go to class early. Find out what the teacher's talking about, because the teacher is the one that's going to set you up with other opportunities. I don't know how many times my children, I don't really talk about my kids. I don't want people in my business. But I can tell you how many times teachers have come to us to say, hey, because they're very emotionally intelligent, very well-rounded, and respectable, right? So many times the teachers come and say, hey, there's this internship available at this high school, at this college, at this library, and we'd love to have your student, your child there. Or how many times people come to the station and they say, hey, we're looking for XYZ. We love the way you are a professional during our interview process. Would you mind coming to do XYZ for us? How many times has that happened, Reggie? How many tickets have you gotten to go to this or that?
I can't count, child. I really can't. It's so many fingers I have.
And with that being said, that's us being open and willing to receive and to give love. I'm going to ask y'all one more time. Say it with me. I'm open and willing to receive.
I'm open and willing to receive.
And to give love.
And to give love.
Y'all going to unfold your hands today one more time. I'm open and willing to receive.
I'm open and willing to receive.
And to give love.
And to give love.
We're going to move right along with what we have to say here. The next thing I want to make mention to you is the tip is receive feedback, not offense. Not offense. Some people don't know you. They just trying to tell you.
You felt it in yourself.
In my spirit, Reggie, on the beat.
No, I felt that too.
Did you?
No, yeah.
Not for real. It's so many times people are trying to tell you how you can do something better. And we get in our own way because we want to make sure that we know. I went to school for this. Huh? I went to school for this. I know what I'm doing. Yeah. Move out your own way. Move out your way. And let people teach you if they want to. Allow them to let you learn something new, different, that you can share to the world and say, I'm open and willing to receive and to give love. And this is what I got because I was open. Somebody wanted to tell. Did somebody teach you something today, lady in the pink? What'd they teach you? Now, you could have taken that and said, how's she going to tell me about how I'm dressed? I look just fine. Then you wouldn't even be sitting here receiving the information that she has to give. Anybody else that learned something today that you almost took offense to? Anybody else in here today? Maybe it was a teacher. Maybe it's Miss Green. I know you always learning something. Somebody as beautiful as you, polished as you learning every day. Give us one thing somebody taught you today.
From this panel or as a
It could be ours.
Well, first of all, I'm just honored to be listening because I'm constantly thinking about ways I can evolve as an individual, even at 15 years being in banking. But I'm inspired by the student and the recent graduate that surround you because their ambition is admirable. Yes. And you guys articulate well, but you also show just how possible dreams
Yes.
can become with plans and just I'm inspired by that. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing that. I got one behind you. What you got for us?
I was not very punctual to this class.
Thank you for sharing that with us. I want to say to you, I did a session at Prince, which was the same time as NAB, and there was the panelist with me. She was also getting the information from us on the slides and all this kind of stuff. And I had emailed and all of that, how I thought I should orally, right? But she also had a busy schedule as well. So we get ready to get up to this day of the session, and I'm shuffling. I'm trying to get all my stuff. Like, I still feel like there's more that I should have prepared for. And there was a little comment that she said, and which was, should have turned it in early. Now, I'm already shuffling. My nerves already bad. That was the last thing I wanted to hear. But as an educator, she is all about prompt. She's all about time. She's all about getting things in and done. Now, I got a session to do. I could have taken that from her in that moment and screwed up the rest of the time. But I had to click in my head and say, this lady knows what she's talking about. Move out of your way. Receive that and move forward. That is what I had to do to get that session done. At the end of it, we ended up being friends. They've even asked me to come and speak to their class. So I'm saying that to say, move out of your way, take constructive criticism, take note to what can help you move better forward, move forward better. Reggie on the beat, is there anything that you have learned recently where you had to move out of your own way?
Recently, I would say being more stern and just like sticking to the rules I made, basically. Recently, we had a show. I had canceled that show, right? Because basically, I didn't get information on time, or I didn't know too much about what was going on for the show. So I canceled it. I was like, "Why you cancel my show? What's going on?" And I was like, "It's the rules and the systems in place that I put down, and if we don't follow those rules, like, how can we be in order? How can we just get things done on time and, just keep things situated, So I would say that's some things I had to get out of my way, because sometimes I'm not a confrontational person, or I don't like confrontations, or if I feel it on the horizon, I just, So I would just say that's something I have to just get out of my way on. And I guess it's called growing up, I guess, Yeah.
I want to speak to what you just said about putting systems in place. Reggie on the Beat at Amazing 102.5 FM at Bread of Life, Inc. Again, it is a nonprofit, and oftentimes we're always finding ways to fine-tune what we do so that it is a better experience for our clients, for our internal reasons, and things like that. It might be a job that you have to create this new thing for. I need you to be open to do that and be like, it ain't my job to make this thing up. Well, you might be actually doing something that pushes the entire organization forward. Many times I've had the amazing opportunity to do that. One being our amazing mentorship program that started from just me having about 6 interns. I didn't know what I was going to do with them. Then finally meeting Jalen and other groups. And then finally doing a radio show entitled QT&A Questions That Need Answers, where this show is hosted by young adults ages 16 to 24, where they host. They do journalism. They do broadcasting. What else do y'all do at QT&A? You can use your mic. Where your mic?
Yeah, my mic's right here. Yeah, we do content creation, so we're looking at making social media plans. How can we amplify the voice of QT&A through media as well? What else do we do? We go to events, we cover them. I feel like it's a combination of like writing, research, and media, all of them in one.
Which all requires discipline, communication, and the idea that you can have more if you want it.
Yeah.
You can have more if you want it. The 5th tip I want to give to you is protect your peace. Stay soft inside. Hustle hard, but also rest, reflect, and reconnect with what brings you joy. Talk to a therapist or mentor. Pray, meditate, dance, breathe. Is anybody doing any of those things? I want one person to tell me what they love. You in the back, behind the lady in the red. What would you love? You right there. Young man with the glasses and the tan shirt, what would you love?
Me too.
Young lady in the blue jean jacket next to the man in the orange shirt, what do you love? Find the thing that you love the most and go for that. If you're in school for a certain thing, you can get a job in what you do, but you just have to find where the passion is behind why you went to school for it in the first place. I love radio. I love what it does to connect community together. I love what we at Bread of Life, Inc. have been able to do to connect with what matters most, providing people with support, providing people with love, hope, dignity, and belonging. What I want to say to you today, if you're looking for an opportunity to expand who you are, what you do through an organization that truly makes a difference, go to breadoflifeinc.org. We're looking for you. We're hoping for you. We want you to volunteer with us. We have resources available to you. And I want to thank everyone here, the teachers, the TSU staff, everyone that has allowed us to be here today.
I'd like to add one more thing because we got to go. It's okay to be annoying. Get on those people's nerves. You really want that job? Please be annoying. Hit them up like, hey, I sent you like 3 emails, just checking in. If you really want to, just go for it. That's it.
Thank you, everyone, for your time today. Our time is up. Okay.
Always, we have to say thank you.
Okay.
And I was talking to Ms. Snap.
You want to give him SAP, S-A-P-P. You want to give him the mic?
That we're going to bring you back. We're going to bring you back to have more time with you with students. Because we have a lot of information to share with our students. So thank you very much for the short notice, and then for being here, for all your help and your information. The SOC is going to kind of develop some kind of relationship with the organization. I've told you that before, so I'm going to follow up with that. But I have a certificate of appreciation from SOC. As always, I'm going to read the last part again. You know, that your effort have significantly enriched the conference experience for all the attendees. So thank you so much. And here, Reese.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Can someone take a picture with me and my teammates? I cannot do this alone, and neither can you. I'm asking you to find someone that loves what you love and ask them to support you. They don't know what they can do if you don't ask them. So I'm going to take teammates
Okay.
who supported me today in this effort.